Hello, everybody. This is the podcast. Welcome to A Better You. We're going to have some interesting discussions in regards to your mind, body, spirit. So let's get it started. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Chaz Thomas, and welcome back to my podcast. Welcome to A Better You. I mentioned earlier in an earlier podcast, I believe it was my introduction to my podcast and what I'm doing, how what I want to do is kind to talk on positive things, speak on real life things that people can relate to. And so on this podcast, I believe it's podcast number 2, I've entitled it, Getting Better, Not Perfect. Getting Better, Not Perfect. I had a conversation with someone earlier, and in the conversation they referenced, practice makes you perfect. Well, I learned a long time ago, first of all, that nothing's perfect. I don't care how much you practice. You will never be perfect at anything. What you will be is better. You will be better at something. Practice does make you better. And so I thought about that for a moment, and I thought about my life. Even with this podcast venture I'm on, how is it ever going to be perfect? No. And for a while, I procrastinated on doing things because I always wanted it to be perfect. Even now, I'm getting better. I'm tweaking the things I do. But the important thing, once you decide you want to do something, the important thing is just to do it. Just to do it and kind of tweak it along the way. Like my first podcast wasn't perfect. I played it back and listened to it. I made notes of things I can improve on. And is this podcast going to be perfect? Absolutely not. But I'm going to make notes and I'm going to improve on it. I'm going to continue to get better. That should be the goal, to get better, because you put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect. And to a point where you never get anything accomplished. You never get anything done. And, we don't never want that to stop us from moving forward or doing anything. So today's podcast, I will kind of talk about being better and not perfect. But first, I had lunch earlier today, and I have a fortune cookie that I'm about to open up and read here. Now, I don't know why I do this, but I like to read fortune cookies. I know in some cases it's just a bunch of paper and a cookie, but sometimes I try to make it relevant to me. This one says, wow, that's kind of deep. It says, time is the wisest counselor. Man, that's actually pretty profound. Time is the wisest counselor. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. That's really true. That's where wisdom comes from. Time. It comes from, as you get older, you get wiser. As you go through different experiences, you get wiser. So I can see where that's relevant. So that's the fortune cookie. Let's get back to getting better, not perfect. Now, I jotted down some things. I want to share it with you, and then I'll comment on it afterwards. Okay, so getting better, not perfect. Striving to be better comes from accepting your limitations. from acknowledging your imperfections. So how do you get better? It's a two-step approach. Something simple, yet effective. Now, don't be misled by the simplicity, because as with everything, it does take work. So the first step is to be present. It all starts from right here, right now, where you're at. Be present in your own life and pay attention to what's happening with you and around you. Be conscious. Then make your choices. Choose consciously to do something. Never like a reaction to something. You know, you've heard the term be proactive and not reactive. Now, a good example here would be, let's say money, for instance. Choosing consciously a way to make money, then start to implement it, as opposed to making money just to pay off bills, which is what we all do. Now, there's nothing wrong with paying off your bills, but if you make the financial part of your activity the main reason you do it, you may end up with something that's not fulfilling in the long run. That I've learned. Now, sometimes it may happen. Sometimes you really hit it, and you find that perfect job. Not perfect job, I have to correct myself. You find a better job that pays well, good conditions, good benefits. Stay there. Stay there, because that's few and far between. So if you find that perfect condition, stay with it. But more than often, that's not the case. What do? We go to a job because we have to. You know, we almost feel enslaved to our job. And I've felt that way in many, many jobs in my career. And that puts you in a very delicate situation, because you kind of lose your sense of freedom. Not only because your ambitions will be poisoned with negative emotions most of the time, but because you will not express the best part of you. Because the greatest gift you can give the world, that thing that only you can give, is not there. You choose not to give it by exchanging it with a well-paying job. And then what happens when you're not present? What happens when you don't choose consciously? You get depressed, you get distressed, and then you almost kind of give up on your dreams. I use the metaphor of finding your true calling, because it hits home in many people. But it's the same with everything else. It's the same with relationships. It's the same with health. We make our choices based on reaction and not conscious action. And the number one consequence of this, in terms of damage, is the fact that we can't genuinely express ourselves. We have to live on a very restrictive set of conditions. And guess what? That set of conditions will block us. We can't become better if we're not true to ourselves. You know, we can advance on that social ladder. We can get to a better position on the job, but it won't help us to be better. It's a fake kind of better. It's not the real one. We just do it for the money, if money was the main reason. Or for more attention, if getting attention was the main reason. As long as you're present and make your choices in a way that lets you have freedom, creativity, and lets your soul grow as a human being to manifest, you're halfway there. So if you want to be better, that's the first step. Be present. Then when you know you've made the right decision, just stay there. Just stay there in that place. Do whatever it takes. Do whatever you can. Just wake up in the morning, look at that smile in the mirror, and ask yourself, how am I going to play this game today? Am I going to be present or not? And the second step is to keep working at it. Being better or being perfect. We can always be better. We can always be better. And I reference back to my career, how many opportunities I actually passed up because my focus was on monetary reward, was on making the money. Yeah, I was making the money, but I wasn't happy because I wasn't doing what my soul and what my spirit thought I needed to be doing or what I should be doing. I wasn't living in my purpose. That's so important, ladies and gentlemen. You have to live in your purpose. And I truly believe, we all have a purpose. We all have a passion. The key is finding what that purpose is and then living that purpose out. It is so much more rewarding. And so, again, you have to make a conscious decision. Am I going to live the rest of my life on somebody else's terms, or am I going to live the rest of my life living out my purpose? You have to make that decision. Now, is that decision going to be easy? Sometimes. Or maybe not. What would make you more happier? Wouldn't you want to be happier at the end of the day? I do. Now, am I doing things that don't necessarily make me happy? Sometimes I still do. But most times I'm doing things with purpose now. This podcast, for example, I put it off for a long time, a very long time, because I wanted perfection. Until I realized, you know what? It's never going to be perfect. So get that out of your mind. Just do it, get it started, tweak it, and build it up along the way. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever it is, whatever your dream is, whatever your passion is, whatever your purpose is, find out what it is. Start doing it. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to let you know that right now, in case you didn't know. And it's never going to be a perfect time. That's never going to happen either. The perfect time is right now. Just do it. And then get better at it. But you'll never get better at something if you never start doing something. Does that make sense? So, that's what I'm doing right now. Now, I'll continue to make podcasts because I enjoy doing it. I'll continue to tweak it. I'll continue to get better. But the key, the most important thing about all this is I'm doing it. I don't like it when people sit back on the sidelines and criticize other people for living out their dreams and trying to do something that they're happy doing. I don't like that because the people who are doing the criticizing, to me, are cowards because they're taking a safe way out. They'd rather do nothing than try to do something they like to do or enjoy. Those are cowards to me. I admire, I encourage those people who step out on faith. There it is. Step out on faith. Believe in yourself. Step out on faith. Takes courage. But you can do it. You have it already inside you. You just have to decide to do it. So if anything, in this podcast, I want to encourage you. If you're thinking about doing something right now, and most of you are, stop thinking about it and start doing it. My mom used to tell me this all the time. I'm going to share this quick story with you. As a kid, I'm telling you, I always had, I must have had an idea every week. I came up with a new idea for something. And the first person I tell or share with was my mom. Hey, Mom, I got this great idea for delivering postcards when I was young. Mom, I got this great idea for helping the elderly get from place to place. Now it's called Uber. But I always had these great ideas, and I would always run to my mom. Mom, I got this great idea. And bless her heart, she kept on encouraging me. Yes, baby, that sounds like a great idea. Yes, that's a good idea. And I think for the most part, she was just, pacifying me like moms do. But one time I came to my mom. I was so excited about this idea. And I got no reaction from her. And I was a little bit shocked because, I'm expecting, that's a good idea, babe. Go ahead and do it. But when she didn't give me that back, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is not a good idea. So I said, Mom, what do you think about this idea? Isn't this a great idea? And my mom said something that stuck with me, even to this day. She said, baby, stop talking about it and be about it. And that kind of made me think. I'm like, wow, she is, wow, this is Mom, really giving me some advice on this. Because what she saw me doing was spending a lot of energy with the creation of an idea instead of making it a reality. So now when I come up with different ideas, I still share them with her. But I'm very careful after I share them with her that I also show her how it's going to happen, how I'm going to make it happen. So that kind of helped me a lot in making a lot of my ideas turn into reality. And so I'm going to say the same thing to you. If you're that person that's always coming up with great ideas, and I'm sure your ideas are great, I will never cast dispersions at anybody's idea. I think everyone's a genius because everyone has the ability to be creative. Okay, everything was created from an idea, from planes, trains, automobiles, to computers, cell phones, and what have you. Everything started with an idea. But what made that idea a reality took action. Okay? Don't talk about it, be about it. You got an idea, put it on paper. Make it make sense. Okay? Especially if you're going to tell someone who you want to assist you with this idea or get financing or to invest in your idea. You got to make it make sense. Right? Especially when you're talking to investors. And I kind of learned that the hard way too. If you want somebody to invest in your dream, because remember, this is your dream, you got to show them how this dream is going to make them some money. Because that's their dream, is making money. Right? So make sure it makes sense, not only to you, but to other people. Okay? And then just do it. Just step out there and do it. Are you going to make mistakes? You bet you are. You bet you are. But life is full of mistakes, isn't it? Nobody's perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better. Right? Yes. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up with that. But I certainly hope this has helped someone. This has helped someone who's thinking about doing something, be encouraged, be inspired. Because that's what we're all here for, to help each other and to inspire each other, right? And I'm also encouraged by you. I'm encouraged when you like my post. I'm encouraged when you give me comments, and I read every single one of them. I am encouraged by each and one of you who listen to the podcast and leave me comments. I am encouraged because that's what keeps me going. This is my, I know this is my purpose because this is my passion. And I want to continue to do it, but I want to continue to get better at it too. Right? And with your help, I know I can. Okay. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. My name is Chaz Thomas. This is my podcast. Welcome to A Better You. And until next time, thank you so much for your support. And God bless you. And thank you again, everyone, for listening to the podcast. And the podcast can be heard on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. That's welcome, 2, A Better You. And please feel free to leave your comments and suggestions, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thank you again for your support. And until next time, take care of your mind, body, and spirit.